Rekkanition. Makers of Portland. With your host, Rekka.
What is up? What is up, guys? So today I got Bremer with me. Bremer Baden, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
ma'am.
a dope name. Is that your real name?
My real name's Benjamin Bremer Baden, and so
Okay.
Bremer is my grandmother's last name on my father's side, and so
Oh,
then our last name is.
I really like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very Polish.
Polish?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. That is dope. Dude, that screen is like distracting the hell out of me. What is that guy's name? Will Smith?
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Dude, I'm stoned. I told you this. This like concrete
all good.
culture has got me going. And I knew that was going to happen too. I was like, I told you, I smoked a lot.
You said it right when it was happening, actually.
Yep.
I noticed.
Yep.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
It's all good. I do it too.
And so you do a lot. Like I feel like I was late to the party because I feel like I knew who you were.
Yeah.
And then I knew your clothing,
Mhm.
but I didn't know it was you that made the clothing. So that was pretty wild. So what all do you do?
So besides doing clothing and stuff and selling merch, recording artist. I'm also in college, majoring in music and environmental science.
Oh, cool.
And that's kind of where the ocean world came from. I want to make biodegradable clothing.
Oh.
Like biodegradable shirts and hoodies that if you don't want them anymore, you can either donate them or you can put them in a pot with some dirt and
That's
you
sick.
can grow things from them and they'll they'll decompose
Yeah.
and do what they got to do nature wise. But that would just be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah.
For environmental science, I want to focus on the marine biology side.
Mm-hmm.
So the ocean came from. And so,
that's sick.
yeah, so my favorite categories of animals are cephalopods. So I love octopuses and squids.
Oh,
Like,
those are sick.
Those are my favorite, like hands down. And so what I want to do is I want to be able to, identify like endangered species of aquatic life, no matter in what ecosystem, if it's like freshwater, if it's stream, river, whatever, see what aquatic life is there. And so I've been able to be in college to be able to learn about like there's like 3 different perspectives that you have to do. There's chemistry, there's biology and geology, and I'm in biology right now. It's a lot of information.
Yeah, I bet.
We're learning about various ecosystems. Like there's so many different organisms that are like if we didn't have these organisms, like if we didn't have bees or anything that pollinates, then we would have major issues.
Oh yeah.
And bees are very endangered. So it's very important and very vital that we keep an eye on these microorganisms that like help us, like, you may not see it, but like in the dirt, there's a lot at work.
Yeah.
And if there was nothing there to do anything, like the world would, as we know it,
It would just crumble.
Yeah, it would
fall apart.
It would.
So do you know much about like frogs? Frogs were like my favorite animal. And someone told me that like if you see a lot of frogs, it's like good. There's a lot of oxygen around.
I didn't.
Have you ever heard anything like
Never
that?
heard like anything like that yet, but I'm gonna definitely do extensive research on that.
Well,
as
I'm assuming if you don't see any animals at all, that's a bad thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't see any animals, you're either in a city or a town like a really cool city town, the rural coast. Like you might see for example, you'll see a lot of does, but you won't see a lot of bucks because bucks get hunted. And things like that. But yeah, if you don't see a lot, if you do see animals though, like a flock of turkeys. I lived in Ashland, and there would always be a flock of turkeys running around.
Really?
Yeah, around this time too, around like Thanksgiving. Like you'll see them in September and stuff, but like literal flock of turkeys just walking down the street. People are stopping for them. There's like turkeys crossing the road. Like there's literally turkeys crossing the
right
street.
Around Thanksgiving,
right
just
around
like mocking people, not me.
Right around Thanksgiving. Like they're all going towards the park, and I'm pretty sure I know why.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure like my point is that those turkeys I think they're owned by somebody. And so you won't see free animals unless you're like in a city, like a city rural area that has a lot of animals, or you're in a city. And most likely some of those animals are owned by people already and things like that. But
so are you like you're not afraid of the water? I'm assuming like swimming and stuff.
No, I'm
terrified,
I'm not the best swimmer. I would love to be the best swimmer.
But you're not afraid of it?
No. There was like a moment where I kind of got kind of knew my limits with it. I was in Zuma Beach, and
Okay.
we had no business going out in surfboard waves with boogie boards. We had just no business
Yeah.
doing it. And I was out there with a friend, and we were getting pretty far. Like, it was foggy out. Like, we were getting pretty far from the coast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shoot, like the beach, I can't really see the beach anymore. And he's like, yo, just hit a wave and go in. And this guy like just hit the waves and he was able to go in. Every time I hit the wave, like I would fall over.
Oh,
and I
man.
had to bring myself back up. And like I did this like 7 times.
So you were like freaking out.
And yeah, and I couldn't see the beach anymore. I was
Yeah.
like, and then so the boogie board turned over. And so the slick side, I had to hold on to the slick side.
Oh man.
They got the thing hooked onto me already, and I'm just like, well,
Ah,
I had a
shit.
moment of clarity. I was like, well, there's this little like hallway between life and death.
Mm-hmm.
This little like and it's like that moment of like the coin could flip either way.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just in this like room of just, okay, I guess I'm gonna start thinking about what I've done so far.
Yeah.
And like as I was like going through the details of my life, because I didn't know if I was even gonna, there was a boat back behind me, but they left. I didn't see them either they were still there and the fog overtook it or something. Then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, you just see this person's head pop out of the waves. Like, what are you doing out here? And I'm like, oh, it's the lifeguard. That's just funny.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I tried to hit a wave and it just kept pushing me further and further and further. And he's like, all right, here, grab onto this. And so I grabbed onto this rope and I'm like in this dude's like, and he strapped me to his waist, right?
Yeah.
And he's like just back butterfly kicking through these waves. And we're going so fast. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, am I dead already?
Yeah.
Like, this is really, really fast. Like, how are you able to maneuver through all these like waves and stuff? And I became so like, yeah, it made me want to be a better swimmer. I was like, man, I would love to, And then like he chewed me out like in front of all these people. And I'm like, you're not supposed to save somebody and then chew them out. Like, I'm already freaked out, like I'm sorry to risk your life too, but damn, dude. Like,
well, yeah, and that kind of fear I feel like is punishment enough. Because your heart, it literally almost stops. Like when you think you're gonna die, you're just like,
I'm pretty,
out. Mm-hmm.
And so then he's like, you have no business being out there. And I'm like, why do you think I was trying to come in?
You're like, you're right, homie.
Like, you're right, man. I went past the buoy, dude. Like, yeah, of course I'm not supposed to be out here. I'm not built for out here.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm terrified of animals though in the water. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, the only thing
Does
I'm
that
terrified.
bother you?
Yeah, the only thing I'm terrified of, like that would really like say like, oh crap, like is definitely sharks. Sharks is like, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
You don't know, like a shark could go right past you.
Yeah.
Like not care about you, or it could like double back and like come right at you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, see, I'm not gonna.
So when you're doing that in school, like what are you gonna do, like work wise, like on field, like in the field or in a lab? Like what are you gonna?
I'm gonna do more field work.
So you'll have to go in the ocean, or what
I'm like not like I'm not gonna be like one of those like marine botanists that go like that dive down. Like I'll definitely do a dive or two.
Yeah.
But it'll be like off a coast somewhere where we could like comfortably assess the ecosystems there.
Yeah.
And not go out like where the Coast Guard goes out,
past the buoy.
Yeah, past the, exactly. I'm in buoy environment, but if I have to go out there and like measure turbidity levels, which is like how murky the water is.
Yeah.
And so like if I have to go do that, then I will. So Willamette River has because of urbanization and because of like humans' usage of it and like industrial runoff and all this, they and like all the just like what mixes in with the rainwater, like the oil spills on car, like like getting down there, people throwing beer cans in there, people urinating in there, like all of that like does this thing, and it's called turbidity level, and the turbidity level is how murky the water is. Willamette's notorious for having like a turbidity level of like 6, and it's really murky. And so what happens is like you have all this buildup, and you have all this algae buildup, and this algae. And if there's plants that survive on top of water and below water, now plants can't get sunlight, and now fish can't get sunlight. Yeah. And so this algae blocking the surface in summer days, like they're not going to get the nutrients they need, and other ecosystems are going to die down there. So it's like really important that like if we're going to have or use or urbanize the Willamette or different lakes and hot spots like that during the summer, that we like be really careful of like water levels for sure, because it's just like this. If it's if they're not going to get nutrients, it's going to become unsafe for us to even swim there. And so like I encourage people to like, hey, don't throw your beer cans in. It's very important that we really preserve this
like
planet.
clean up after yourself.
Yes, because we are overdue. We're overdue for a volcano in multiple different locations on the west. We're overdue for an earthquake. Like there's one little thing that could like tip the scale, and so we have to be very, very careful.
Yeah.
And
well, does the Willamette, does it flow south? I think it flows south, right? Because I don't know if you know where I live, like Newburgh, Dundee area, but we have the Willamette run through too, and it's so bad right there. Like I won't go swimming there. I won't, because it's like, and I've seen it throughout the years because I was born there. So like I remember when I could see the bottom, and like now I can't.
You can't.
It's like insane to me.
Like, have you ever been to High Rock?
Oh yeah,
High Rock and Elk Rock.
Yeah.
So I've been to both those places, and the turbidity level in both locations is about the same. And
really?
I've jumped off that high. I jumped off that high cliff.
Is it worse than it was? Because I don't remember. It's been a long time since I went to High Rocks.
I don't know. I've only been out here for half a year. I just moved out here for half a year. So I'm
from where?
From Southern Oregon.
Oh yeah, okay. It's a little prettier out there. You got like the Rogue River and stuff.
Yeah, it's if you want to go sightseeing, it's really nice. If you want to spend a weekend, my like the most positive thing I can say about being there is if you want to go there and have an experience, go during First Friday weekend, because first in like April or May, because that's when OSF is going on. If you get there Wednesday, you can go to the Green Show. They got matinees there all the time, and then First Friday, that's when everybody's out. All this restaurants packed. It's kind of like this Ashland tradition thing they do every month.
Yeah.
And so you want to go out there, you want to go see a couple bands. You could bar hop. There's multiple different bands playing in like this whole plaza. There's people everywhere.
Yeah.
So if you ever go there, I could tell you like the proper bar crawl to where you'll have a really good experience, because we did this crawl like so many times, and it was really fun. As far as like wanting to, do something and like be a, kind of like this like be someone and like have like super dreams and aspirations and stuff, not necessarily the place to be.
Yeah, I've actually heard that a lot about pretty much a lot of spots in Southern Oregon.
Yeah.
They just kind of come up to the city, to like do their music thing. I know like 6 or 7 people that have moved up here just for that, because they're like, I love it out there, but there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, but there, like, in a way, like it has its own thing going on.
Yeah, you have a huge venue there. Well, not huge, but a decent sized venue there.
We have a few. We have so Ashland has Ashland Armory.
I think that's the one I went to.
That is a cool venue.
It looked like really an old church looking building.
Yeah. It looks So I definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've had there was Martin Luther King ceremonies in there.
Oh, cool.
I remember actually doing raps 2 years in a row, like 2 different raps about Martin Luther King and stuff. One of which got published on and spun on JPR.
That's sick.
Yeah, and JPR they had contacted me. I was working with this guy named Bob DeCiro. Rest in peace to the man. Taught me a lot of great things, and that I know today about recording and everything. And I was doing something for my senior project, and I was like, "Yo, listen, I want to make an album for my senior project, and it could be like anything, And so he's like, "Okay," and I was like working. I'm like, "I have these lyrics. I need something to put it on," and he like read them, and he's like, "Okay, look, normally I don't offer like free time to people, but if you come in once a month, I could record you for at least 2 hours for free." And I was like, nice. Okay, so I went every single month. Like we had a day, like it was like the Wednesday of this, like the second Wednesday of every month. And so I would go in, and that would be one of my favorite, like I would dwell on these days. I'd be like, man, the next one's coming up. It's got to take forever, like I'd bring some friends in there now. Like it was kind of started becoming a thing, but fast forward, I did this rap for Martin Luther King, and it was really good. Like I was able to like really express some stuff, like social justice side of me, and it was really cool because then he was like, "Yo, let me see if I can like get in contact with anybody about this day, like see if we could push it on something."
Yeah, he saw the power of it. And
and he was like, "Let me see if I can push it to something." And like I had sent a email to JPR too, like, "Yo, man, I have this song. It's mixed and mastered by like one of the best in Ashland. There's no profanity in it. There's no cuss words. There's no derogatory phrases. Nothing like that. It's about Martin Luther King, and it was like 3 days out from the Martin Luther King ceremony, and the day it was like I think it was 17th of January, 2 days before my brother's birthday. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because his birthday's the 19th. And so yeah, and they immediately got back and they're just like, hey, look, we just want to say that like because normally we don't spin hip hop, because they're like the NPR of Ashland and the Valley and stuff. So they're like, normally we don't spin hip hop.
Yeah.
But since this is so properly mixed and so like to the point that's coming up and it's pertaining to like what's happening right now, like we're gonna go ahead and spin this one time.
Nice.
And so me and my parents sat there and listened to it.
Yeah.
And like we were there and like I was able to get it spun and I was able to perform at the Armory.
Yeah.
I remember I was wearing a bright yellow banana shirt, like sweat crew neck, like shirt. No logo, no nothing. It was just this yellow crew neck. Just this yellow thing,
awesome.
And I was able to that's when I met some people from like 98.9, shouts to Dell. And that's kind of what did it. I started doing it before I moved to Ashland, but like it really kind of planted when I was there. I was kind of like planting the seeds and stuff like that too. Then I picked up on kind of like overall dynamics of like how, the hip hop is there and this and that and the third. And they're very, like people love it when people rep the Valley and stuff. So like, that's what I felt like I should do. And it was a really interesting experience being out there, like being on all these shows and being like doing this, being a prominent figure of the Rogue Valley. And it's just like like just the getting people out and like, the certain, there was like a certain like plug, a certain thing. Like, I think there was just like a certain element I wasn't hitting or something, but it was just, I'd have these shows with bands and stuff and it was just getting people out would just be really difficult. But then, you get those messages of like, yo man, I wanted to start doing this. Like, do you think I can get help with doing this? And I'm like, well, yeah, man, but I want you to come out like and see some of these shows because like half of what you're asking, I can't just sit here and tell you.
You're gonna
find it here.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it wasn't like throwing all these shows wasn't about like, it was about getting out there, about helping our careers, but it was also about like, hey, all these questions can get answered at these shows.
Yeah.
If you invest like $5 or $10 and like 3 hours of your time, all your questions are going to be answered because now there's like 6 artists on the bill. There's live painters and all this stuff. You can ask all these questions to people.
Listen to this artist because this is something like even OG1 preaches all the time.
Right.
I'm
sure he does.
Show up. You just
got
have
to
to
show up.
Yeah.
You got to show up. And if you don't show up, then you'll never know.
Yeah.
And I leave it more into their hands. It's like, I'm so busy to the point where like, I can't sit here for 20 minutes and tell you like how to do it. Like you have to go and like buy a ticket to a show. I know you guys have seen, I know people have seen, like Reason and like Top Dog Entertainment, like Playboy Cardi. I know you guys have seen them. So you have some basis on what it takes. And like, they make it look really good. Yep. But there's a significant amount of work that goes into this.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you won't see that unless you go into this local setting. If you go into like, like if you have like if you're going to like an antique road show or like an auto show, and you're just like, oh man, like this is dope. Like you never, you're so like blindsided by like the flashing lights. You never know how much work it took to not only build this car, to get it on this market, to be considered over the thousands of other people that have the same talent, if not better, than you potentially have, the connections you have to make, all this stuff that lies like beneath, like underneath the curtains. And so like, I wanted to give artists out there like, hey, you want to see what's beneath the curtain? Below the hood is like, but then once you open the hood and they see all these components, it's like, oh damn. Yeah. And I'm like, I know we make the frame look really good and we make the car look really good because we're in here 19 hours a day in our body shop, fine tuning our crafts and stuff. It's not like what you're seeing is a finished product. Like if you really want to do this, then you have to like really break this down piece
Well,
by piece.
in order to like learn things the right way too, like everyone's walk's gonna be different. So you can't even really give someone advice because their itch is gonna be different.
Yeah.
That's something I run into a lot. Like some people will ask me questions. I'm like, yeah, but you're totally different artist than I am.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Right.
So you're probably gonna have a different fan base. You're gonna have different kinds of merch, you know.
Mhm.
But it is all about just showing up and learning. Like if you want to learn how to sell merch, then go work a table for one of your homies, you know, like, and so you can learn how to sell things,
Right.
and, you know, like learn how to create a brand, you
Yeah.
know. Some people are afraid of just like showing up, and or when they do show up to a show, they still go as a patron and they're not focused on like watching what's going on around them.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
they
it's
like see
true.
the smooth show, but I feel like now as an artist, when I go to a show, I can't just stand and be a patron. Like I'm watching everyone. I'm, oh, I see what that guy did there. That was sick. Or
Right.
like, you know, or
Yeah.
they did really well. Like, or she needs to hold the mic up more, whatever it is, you know, where I'm like, oh, I can't hear her. Come on, pick
Mhm.
up that mic.
Yeah.
And it makes you like think of things for your own set.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. And just once they see, I think once a lot of like, I mean, I've met a lot of people who have been like serious about it and have actually shown up and been like, okay, so this is, and they've tackled open mics. And so I'm like, okay, cool. So you're on your way, you know it, and you want to do this.
Yep.
You know, but then, you know, I also run into the people that like have a lot to say and like want to express it. But my biggest thing, so like my biggest thing when I look at an artist is how like if you're like I love lyrics. I love lyrics. But if I'll listen to some like, I'll listen to some simpler shit like no, and it's all like, it's turn up and it makes me feel good, like whatever.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like what, like I like this song, but now I want to even more like it. How do you perform this song?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, like I watched concerts. I'd watch concerts of people who like are super big and like this and that. It doesn't matter what genre, I've watched their energies and like watched their, how the crowd participate. And like nowadays, half the time it's just like they're either vamping about something or they're just letting their track play in the back while they're just turning up to it. And I'm like, nah, man, these people came here because you made them want to come here with your energy. And a lot of people are like, yo, I need that energy crowd. I'm like, nah, man, you got to give them your energy. That's why they're here to see you, is because it's the energy, man. Like you are the source. Yeah.
Stronger than I expected.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's good stuff. But like you have to be that energy and you have to be that driving force. That's what brings the fans there. That's like, that's how they remember you, like, one of the way like Russ is a really good example of this because he has like a cult following and they go to see him and he's really good at what he does. Like every song that he sings, they're singing.
Yeah. I've seen like I follow him on Instagram and
It's
I've
awesome.
seen his shows like, and
it is
all
incredible.
you see is just hundreds, thousands and thousands of people just like
Losing
chanting his
control
whole
now.
song where
I don't
you
own
can
the
like
rights
hear
to
it
that,
all.
by the way.
Dude, I love that song.
It's
Russ
crazy. He can put on, and he talks about it all the time. Like, and it's just like he gives that energy and he provides that comfort zone to like all thousands of people.
Yeah.
And so like you have to characterize yourself and you have to be that. You can't ask that of people that come to see you. They came to see you for that reason that you're asking them.
Yeah.
And so then the artistry starts like, it makes sense, but there's like gray areas. And for my craft personally, I just don't want any gray areas. Like you came to see me because like I brought the thunder and I brought this raw dog energy that you came and you hoped that I was experiencing. And just, I don't know. I in a way that I wanted to like help people out in the valley too. I wanted to help them like really like get the like confidence to like really just be out there.
Yeah.
And it like comes from in forms of like standing on the front part of the stage. Like never, and I've done this. I've only speak from experience. I've done this. I've like paced back up and down. And if like you go back to the stage, like you're disengaging from the crowd. And so when you stand, like let's say a stage right here, if you stand like right on this border, you're like right there with him. And like if it's a local show, you jump in there with him.
Yeah.
If you got wireless mic access,
that's something
like
I want to get better at.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I always think of that shit like after the show too. I'm like, man, I should have went crazier on that, And that's a thing too that people have to think about if they're wanting to become an artist.
Yeah.
Is there's tons and tons of times where we're like, we'll do a set and afterwards be like thinking about how we can work on it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's
all the time.
constantly work. As soon as, especially if you do a set and someone comes up after you and they don't even have to do better, just as good. And you're
Yeah.
like, damn, I should have done that. Like I always watch people who are really good with crowd work because
Mhm.
I'm not good at crowd work. So like I'm, that's how I learn though. And people
for
will
real.
tell me I'm good at it when I still don't feel like I'm good at it. So it's just a learning curve. But you got projects coming out, right?
I got that's a really good I've been in that same seat too. Like
Yeah.
he did more of his like name to the crowd, like he's like
oh yeah, when people have the crowd
call
go
and
back
response.
and forth. Yeah,
And then they have a catchphrase too. So
Yeah.
Method Man did that. He said, "Can I get a suit?" Like every other song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, I should do that. Like
Yeah.
I should have something that I should say that people respond back to me.
Yeah.
Like kind of like this like sort of, you know how Emerald had bam, you know what I'm saying? Like that sort of like
Yeah, I
sort
haven't
of
thought of
catchphrase
one.
thing.
I can't think of one for me. I mean, most of the time with catchphrases with me, people always say other people's catchphrases to me. Like they
Yeah.
always say like, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, for being Rekka, and then always saying like brick bricker bricker, but
Yeah.
those are other people. So I mean
Right.
like, yeah, don't steal those when I'm on stage, but like I gotta think of one too. Do you have one for you?
Do I have one? I just say Ocean World.
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually I'll just be like Ocean World, and people be like motherfucker,
Yeah.
And that's so I usually it's just Ocean World. Like if I say ocean, you say world.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I
just.
don't think I've seen you live yet. I saw some of the videos on Instagram though, and
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
damn, this guy can spit.
Yes, yeah. So Thursday, shout out to Kelly's Olympian, by the way. Thursday was a blast. We smacked the door off the hinges.
Yeah.
I had so many people came out too. So many people I knew. Like there's people from my building that came. There's people from work that came. There was people from.
That's love.
Yeah, no, it was cool. There were people from other who had a show that same night that came to the show.
Oh, sick.
So I was like, yo, no way. That's really, really
love.
cool. That's like really like Portland's really trying to make something happen, which is awesome. And yeah, that show was awesome. We had so many people there. I know like
Kelly's has really good sound too.
Mhm.
I love the sound in their venue. It's like small and all, but it sounds so good. And like the stage I feel like is built perfect where people
Yes.
can crowd like around it. I'm a big fan of Kelly's.
Yeah.
It's a good
Oh
spot.
man.
Yeah.
I felt it was a goal of mine to actually perform there since I
Really?
got here. I was like, man, the Thesis stage is awesome. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's so dope. And so I really, really, really want to see like if I get when I get this, because you never say if, you got to say when, or else it won't happen.
Yeah.
When I get this, I'm gonna perform some new shit and this and that. And so I got hit up by Verbs. Shout out to Verbs, the DJ, and he's all like, "Yo, I want to like plug you in on a show out here in Kelly's." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing some new shit," because I had like
Yeah.
written, I was up for like I wrote a track tonight for like the past week and a half.
Mhm.
Like every except for today. Today I was like kind of like whatever, I'm schmoozing, Like I never have these days where I'm just kind of like turn my brain off, so I just I smoked some weed and watched South Park, which was really
Sometimes you
It
just
was
do
really-
that.
it was worth it.
Because when you're an artist and you work and all that stuff,
Yeah.
like it gets mind-boggling sometimes. You
It
gotta
does.
just shut down, push your phone away, and
for
watch
real.
TV.
They were like
Yeah.
doing I was watching the episode where with Elon Musk.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was hilarious. It was really fun. I was like, oh my god, this is so accurate, And then there's I saw this one where it was they had this Halloween special. Like I just saw this like not even an hour ago. Like they had this Halloween special, but they had everybody was trying to trick or treat on scooters. On like the scooter,
Oh,
just
yeah.
I know because scooters are like a big thing now, and so like it's just incredible how South Park is able to get with these like times, like pop
Yeah.
culture times, and they're like it was just really really funny. So you had like all these people like you had the different groups of friends like Stan, Kyle, Cartman, Butters, everybody. They're all like, oh no, we have the scooters. Nobody else knows about that. But then like Wendy's tables got like the same. They all have the same idea.
Yeah.
And so the parents are like, we don't even have that much candy and this and that. Like, we don't even know what to do, And so, it was just really funny.
I
Like
love South Park.
everybody was just beating each other up trying to get candy,
Yeah.
and it was hilarious.
Going savage over it.
Going
yeah.
savage over it.
What I love about South Park is like it's their job to give no fucks, and
No.
they'll just say some
No.
ridiculous stuff and not like get really much any backlash at all because they're South Park.
It's the
So
cartoon
that's why
shield.
I love it. I know, right?
It's the cartoon shield. So
Yeah.
like you can get away with anything if it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because it ain't real. Like,
because it ain't real. And
yeah.
you can imply like you can threaten lawsuits on like companies and stuff, but it's a cartoon. So
it's
it's
not gonna
like
hold up, really.
you
like,
can it's literally like a computerized file on
Yeah.
a digital data, like on a digital database, and you can literally delete it whenever you want to.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but you can't delete people. And so it's like there's this weird like jump between like Family Guy. They've pushed so many boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, like so many boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, like oh my gosh, like I can't tell. I couldn't even watch that when I was a kid in my house. Like it was
Really?
just so it was just like all the domestic violence and
Just
all the
super
like
offensive.
just super offensive. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like but it's a brilliant show
Yeah.
because it captures like. This is the problem with America right now. It's all of this,
Yeah.
you know, but you see it as a problem right here. Like, you're like, oh, why is Peter Griffin doing this? Like, why is he doing this, all this violent shit, you know? And it's just like, no, like, don't you get it? This is because of y'all.
Yeah.
You know, like the people out here doing
like,
this.
You guys are directing this right now.
Yeah. Like this is literally a show about like, you know, very, very like blue collar, like just ignorant groups and secular minds, you know. It's just, I don't mean to downplay people's intelligence or anything like that, but it's just like there's only a certain level. Like you never downplay intelligence, you can question it though.
Yeah.
You know, like always always question. Even an intellectual, you can have an IQ, an eidetic mind, whatever. Question that because like he's, you know, just question it.
Yeah.
Just ask questions about it. Don't ever like conclude with like, you know, like this person's a human too also.
Yeah.
They might have different beliefs, but I ask them about it and see how much they know about what they're believing.
Yeah.
Instead, and that will be able to like help you determine whether what they believe is emotional based or factual based.
Yeah.
You know, like do you notice a lot of people
people are emotionally based right now. Too.
Yeah, and they'll spit facts based off of like related emotion or like something that pertains to them, instead of something that pertains to facts.
Yeah, and then the algorithm is just feeding them what they want to know.
What they want to
like,
know.
Whatever
like,
their opinion is, like the algorithm.
Yeah, like,
yes,
oh,
you're right. Take
you know,
this.
Like, oh, you're okay. You know, like you're okay. You know, being ignorant, this and that and the other, like this and that, like, and they'll like, they'll like kind of like gaslight. It's a really big gaslight to like For You pages and stuff are very like, because it's like you put everything in. You like something that's happy, you like something that's sad, you like something that makes you mad, you make something that something that clowns someone else. Like,
yeah,
it's all like, even the happy parts, it's all questionable because it's all sort of programming, and it's all something that like will pertain to you, to where not only will you'll keep using this to seek some sort of validation from corporations that don't really care, or like it'll you know it'll fuel something else. And like a lot of arguments nowadays are based off of what different things are telling you, instead of like you assessing a situation yourself. You know, and that's, you know, a lot of people lose touch with reality that way.
Yeah, that's been something that I even started to work on, I'd say a year ago. I just started noticing the algorithm more than I ever noticed. You know, and I was like, maybe this is why I'm all fucked up in the head. Like, it's because it's like force feeding me all these like opinions and stuff. And then who has the time to really go look it up and like look up all those opinions and stuff to know if all what's real, what's fake. And like, so I was like, wow, this is getting stressful, man. Like
it starts with like validating, like, starts by validating. I'm gonna say it. It starts by validating your negativity. Like you're completely, and I'm not saying like I'm human. You know, I have positive and negative moments, but like what some of these things will do is like validate your. Oh, you're very, you have every right to think this way. Like fuck this other person. Like treat everybody like this. If you see any red flags, like and it's just like like this is not how like humans supposed to be run. Like we're not supposed to be living off of like
on the internet
something telling something telling us what to do and how to feel and this and that. And like who you know, and it's come down to like even dating. Like even these dating apps are crazy. They're crazy out here.
It is wild because
It's
like
wild,
a lot of
man.
people are
It's-
losing the emotion in
Mhm.
conversation. And that's why like back in the day I feel like it was a little bit more peaceful in like a society because we
was.
would like talk face to face. Like if we fought in middle school, like we were like fighting
We were
about
fighting
it.
in middle school. Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't
Maybe a note being like catch me outside, you know,
yeah,
but it was
would be,
like
lunch would be crazy.
yeah, and then like even if we still didn't agree at the end, like whoever won the fight won the argument,
won the
and we
fight.
can move
Yeah,
on,
boom,
you know.
yeah. And
But
then-
nowadays, like, because I even noticed, like, I said something to someone the other day, and I didn't mean it in any negative way, and I kind of like when I thought it, I said it really nicely. And then when I like she replied, I was like, whoa, 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 like
Yeah.
why all the heat, you know?
Yeah,
and then
what's going on?
when I read it, I was like, okay, I could see how she would think that was rude, you know? And
But-
so it sucks
yeah.
when, you know, you can't really do much about that.
No, you
online.
can't. You can't really like there's
That's why I stopped putting my opinion online.
it's a very it's a very hard, you know,
It's a
because
slippery slope.
if you have no because the that's where the emoji thing comes
Mhm.
really in handy. So if you have a text with no emojis or nothing, like no exclamations on anything,
That's why we need it. Yeah.
you know, and like, well, that's why I'll put exclamation marks like at the end of my sentences all the time when I'm texting people to let them know that like, hey, I'm actually excited about
Yeah.
like
I did
talking to you, you know, like it's very mechanical, but it's like we base so much of our like reaction to whatever it is like off emojis and stuff. Like you could
Yeah.
put something that's like that has prayer hands, you know, and that are like, you know, like, hey, you know, I thought like I'm addressing this, I'm just letting you know, and this and that, and this and that, and the third prayer hands.
Yeah.
You know, somebody reading that would be like, oh, okay,
That's
you know,
so sweet of them. To
that's
say
so
it
sweet of them like that.
nicely.
But you know, if you say that same thing and put put like a red face with that swear bar over it,
yeah.
then it's like this and that. Or if you do it like not at
Yeah.
all, or if you don't do any emojis, it's just like, well, how is this person being? So they're
Yeah.
immediately going to be defensive.
It's
And
so
immediately,
sad.
yeah, they're gonna go on the offensive, like right back at you, like, and it's just a weird thing to base reactions off of.
Yeah.
And I just don't like
I've almost fallen into it like all the time, like where someone will say something, and I've even like gone like I'd even go to reply all pissed off, and then stop and be like, this doesn't matter. And I like then I look at what they said, and I'm like, really isn't that bad? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's really-
why was I about to do that when it wasn't even that bad? Or it's like
Mhm.
not worth like not a conversation worth getting angry about, where I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell am I doing? And so like
you know what I'm saying? Like
I think we all need to work on ourselves a little bit when it
Just-
comes to that.
just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Because I imagine, you know, what I like to do when like people like come at me and harp at me and stuff, I like to imagine that one there's that one picture online of this drawing of this dude going like this, you know, like and like
Oh, the
like,
SpongeBob
that's-
one is with the like
yeah,
mouth?
yeah, with the, yeah. That's what I meant. Like anyone who has like, well, you know, you're just doing this as a hobby. You're not, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you're just doing this as a, like that's what I imagine them doing.
Yeah.
Is just like whining to me that like my positivity is affecting them in a negative way.
Yeah.
And so that makes me laugh because I'm just kind of like, okay, dude, like
Yeah.
I've heard this all the time. Like you sound like my mom. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't need another mom.
Yeah.
I'm perfect with the ones that I have.
Mhm.
And so, you know, I kind of at first I was never able to like take it like that, you know, no matter what, even if they put like laugh emojis like to what I'm trying to do, like really get me sometimes. But then it's just kind of like, it's like imagine that person's laugh
Yeah.
and just imagine the ugliest laugh possible, and it will make me laugh too. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you laugh like a gargoyle. You know what I'm saying? Like you laugh like a pterodactyl. You laugh like someone that has no business laughing at anything. What are you
Yeah.
laughing about?
What are you laughing about?
You know, like you're probably in a bus on a public place laughing and like taking great solace in the fact that you're trying to harp on someone that's like really trying to better
Yeah.
themselves. I'm like, you're the actual Truman Show to me. Like
Yep.
you are putting on a show and like doing crowd work to me. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just sitting here eating popcorn like Michael Jackson in the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And so I want to get into it before we like wrap this up at all, because you have a
Oh, yeah.
have a project coming out, and then you have a video that's out too.
yeah.
Is that that green one, or is that one older?
The Green Hearts one?
The video itself, like so who do you know who runs Make Noise PDX on Instagram? I don't know who runs it, but they're really dope. Whoever runs that page, you're sick as fuck. But they actually posted your video.
They did. I
and
saw that. I don't
That's
know who
when
actually.
I first saw you rap, and I was
No
like, "Damn, who
way.
is this dude?" And like, I think I kind of like saw you when you came into town
Yeah.
and stuff, but we never actually met. And I was like, "Damn, he's got some bars." Like that video was sick.
Appreciate it. So yeah, no, a little bit into the music side. So yeah, I shot that video with my with the homie Row 3 Films.
Mhm.
Shout out to Row 3. We had just yesterday, which is cool. We had just with Big Grams for Big Grams song Too Many Beats, and it's just all about being an artist and having just too much
Oh, yeah.
material to work, material to work with. And it's pretty much like the whole video is like a day to day of like what artists do, from like smoking weed and writing songs, shooting videos. And I had a studio session. I was able at Burn Money Music. Shout out to Burn Money Music. And I was able to bring them in, and they shot some of their video there, which was cool. But yesterday, we shot on train tracks with a moving train going by, and we actually we like we drove all the way up to the helipad and we shot up there.
Oh,
and
sick.
the crazy thing about it was there was hundreds of crows. Like, I cannot make this up. It looks like we're in front of a green screen. It really does, but
'Cause
it's
there's
real
so
life.
many.
We're on this helipad and there are crows everywhere.
How
like
sick is that?
tornado of crows circling around. There was one.
Did you use a
swooping
drone
in.
or anything?
No, nothing. We
That's like,
we
you need
shot
to-
like they shout out to Murray, by the way, too. Him and Roe, they both shot upwards. And so like while we're rapping and stuff,
Oh,
there are crows just circling around.
so sick.
It looks like Gotham City, but it's not bats. You expect a flock of bats, but
Yeah.
you don't expect like I thought something died. I'm like, something died somewhere.
Something's happening. right
Yeah,
now.
but we shot on this helipad, which is a crazy experience. And I like smoked a bowl up there, and I'm like, not often do you get to smoke a bowl on a helipad in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
And then we shot that. But yeah, he is responsible. Row 3 is responsible for my Green Heart video.
And is that the video I'm thinking of?
That's the video where I'm in that green and yellow flannel, right? Is that one?
Yeah, I think so. I just remember the trimming of the video, and like it had like a hue of green, kind of.
Yep, that's the Green Heart video.
That thing's sick.
So the whole point of Green Hearts is like, it's like I still have love for you, but go away.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna do every color of like the heart rainbow.
Yeah.
I'll do like red hearts, orange hearts, yellow eventually.
Oh, that's cool.
But like so red heart is like all about love. Orange heart is more like, hey, I still love, but I have some convictions. Yellow heart is like, where do I sit with this?
Yeah.
Like this was like you were like the light of my life kind of hunt. Green heart is like, okay, look, I still got love for you, but just do not like, I don't want to associate with you. Like, I'm kind of just mad. Blue hearts is like, I'm sad about green hearts. I'm sad that I have to do this. Purple heart's like, all right, now you're making me mad. And black heart's like, all right, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then white heart's like, it's all love, but I still don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
And so I want to do that, and then I'll do Queen of Hearts. And so I'll do this whole like collection of like,
sick.
yeah.
I like
I'm gonna do that whole collection of like, it'll be a collection of like things that I want to put on vinyl. But like Green Heart was one of those things that it was about like how I've helped so many people. I've helped a lot of people like try to find who they are. Like, I was a caregiver 8 years, so it's just my natural instinct to just want to help anybody of all ages, of all levels, of all aspirations, and all dreams.
Anybody who's lost,
Yeah, and so like I've dedicated a lot of my time that I could have dedicated to myself to people.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of people, sometimes people don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And I can respect that in a sense that it's not a me thing, but at the same time, it's like, well, I didn't have to do all this, but you're my friend. And so I really wanted to, because I believed in you.
Yeah.
And so I no longer talk to a lot of people now, like, because they just over and over again, they just did not consider this because they had trouble fighting their own demons. And that's fine. Fight your demons, but you have to recognize like, the destruction. Like, you see every Marvel movie, like they're kicking ass, but they're destroying an entire city.
Yeah.
Like, while you wrestle with your demons, you have to consider like how like that fight between you and your demons is going to affect other people.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's going to, and
yeah,
like,
I think that's why it's important. I mean, for me, anytime that because I deal with depression and anxiety, like social anxiety in my life.
Oh yeah.
So when I have those bad days, like I have dark days all the time. And so when I do though, like I don't bring it around my positive people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my music people that are always positive, like I try not to bring my rainy day to them. Like if they want to hang out and I'm having a rainy day, I'm like, not today, bro. Like
Yeah.
I just gotta take care of myself
Yeah.
first, because you don't want this negative,
No, not
like
at all.
vibe. You don't want it.
Yeah, no, and it's good that you recognize that, because you're one of the very few people that are like, hey, let me take a step back, for myself and for life real quick, and realize that like I love you guys to the point where, I don't want to bring this around you.
Yeah.
Even though they may understand or not, it's just like, like the fact that you hold them to such high regard is a very like, it shows great humility.
Yeah.
That's
and
like one of the greatest honors of humility.
And I hope people know, like their friends that are like depressed and stuff, they literally do like cancel plans for you, so they don't, because they're like, oh my god, I'm so depressed, like I don't want my friend to feel this, or like I don't want them to be able to tell and talk to me about it, and like my energy get transferred to them.
Exactly,
because that's how it goes. If
really
you have a friend that really cares, like they kind of take that negative energy from you and carry on to it until they have a way to get rid of it. So
yeah.
it's like,
they really do. Those are really good friends indeed.
yeah.
But yeah, no. So Green Hearts is kind of like one of those things where like once I moved to Portland, I realized like, hey, like this is a cool game we play in this hip hop game. For some reason, it's very cutthroat and fine. It's fine, whatever. But and so it's just one of those things where it's like you could say, oh, they got growing up to do, like as far as like facing their demons, but it's like we also have growing up to do, because we let these things happen to us over and over and over again. And so I had to just let go of, it's all love. Like I'm not mad. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm sad. I'm saddened by it, because I've known a lot of people for years.
Yeah.
But it's just you can know somebody for years, but you can really know somebody in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Like you really like you can literally be the best of friends. But then, and you think you know somebody, and then all of a sudden you see something that like was either developed or something that they didn't like, they didn't say, which is totally fine, but it's one of those things that don't sit with you.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't sit with you the right way. Like this is a complete like, oh well, I don't really think like this at all. And that's why I leave politics out of every friendship, because it's just like one of those things where it's like you can be friends with someone for 10 years and then, as soon as you found out, they voted this or they voted that,
they feel some type of way.
It's just like, oh, okay, dude.
Well, and I don't throw the whole person away whenever they feel the opposite of me.
Yeah.
So, and also like my opinions like change all the time.
Yeah.
So though I never hold someone to their opinion because most of the time people have to actually experience something for it to change their opinion. You can't just yell at someone to get them to change their mind. They got to go somewhere where they can see it live.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm making this album called Rise.
Yeah.
It's like to like I am combining all the sounds and music that I like, all the opinions from the outside world, all the opinions of myself, all of like my building of myself and other and other people that helped me, the destruction that I put on myself and inflicted on others. Like it's one of those things. It's just called Rise, and because you have to just rise out of every single thing, and so it's gonna be. No matter what it is, and it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very, very hard. The climb up anywhere, no matter if you like it or not, it's going to be challenging.
You're going to get dragged down.
You're going to get dragged. You're
going to have to like keep climbing though.
But you have to, and then one of the reasons why I call it Rise, I was raised Jewish. I was raised Reformed Jewish. And I was bar mitzvahed. And my Torah portion.
I don't know what that means, but
it's like Jewish confirmation.
Okay.
It's like you're confirmed in the eyes of Elohim.
Oh, okay.
And you read Torah and scriptures and Haftarah and all that stuff.
Okay.
And like all your family come, and it's like this real, like the, like Havana
Sounds
Gila and all.
fun.
It's awesome. They're like, you ever see those pictures of like people lifting people up on chairs? Yeah. That is after a bar mitzvah ceremony. That is like literally a ceremonious thing that we do. Yeah. And so I went to a 7-year immersion camp, Hebrew immersion camp called Ashbury. Shout out to Olin Sang Ruby. And that's kind of where I first started rapping too, which is crazy. And so what I did, so the Torah portion is called Lech Lecha. And it means to rise up.
Oh, I like
It's
that.
literally the come up. And so it's like it's like Book of Genesis, and I had to like talk about like Abraham and like the covenant of circumcision, which was wild because he was 99 years old, and like it was just a thing, I guess, and so I said, this is where a bris comes from, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's my Torah portion, And like and that's kind of where it comes from. It's like it was a sign for me. I was like, like there's gonna be a point in my life where like I'm really gonna have to rise to the occasion. And that kind of like stuck with me. And I chose like eight tracks that I wrote. I feel like those were like some of those things, like it has the ups and the downs. It's got features on it. It's got like, there's this one track on here. I'll talk about one track besides the Greenheart one that's going to be on there. But there's this one track called Fuck I Look Like. And it's all about,
that.
Yeah. And it's right, and,
Yeah.
and I have an acronym to FILL, like Phil,
Oh.
And so, but it's Fuck I Look Like. And it's about how you're at this point where your life where you're seeing through like people's deception. And like I've had a lot of friends who've like only wanted to latch on for personal gain, like would hang out with me but then talk shit behind my back, like those. So it's like Fuck I Look Like. So I have a line in there that says people with horns telling me I should stay blessed. And so, in the video, it'll have like, and so I brought homies in the studio and they're like, I made them portray demons. And I'm just like, I know they're demons and they're telling me to stay blessed. And I'm like, why are you a pack of demons telling me to stay blessed? So I turn around, I'm like, the fuck I look like, man? Like, I know what you're up to.
Yeah.
I know what you're up to because you have a different definition of stay blessed.
Yeah.
You have a different definition of this. And I'm not going to fall for this. And so, and you hear like Big Ram, Row 3, and my boy Casa being like, yo, chill. And I'm like, no, tell them to chill. What the fuck? And so it's like, it's one of these like characterizations of like that sort of thing. And it's not just about like what's happened to me. It's about like anxieties and all that other stuff too, like paranoias that I've had too. And so it's just a rise above everything.
That's sick, dude. Yeah. I'm excited for this. When does it drop?
It's, I was gonna let it go next week, but I have one track that I really got to take some time on. And then I have to have an 8-hour mixing session to like really fine tune all these. And so I'm thinking about, I think it's going to come around it might come around like New Year's Eve.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Start the new year off fresh, dude.
Like literally, like I think it's going to,
Rise,
what? It'll be December 30th.
I think it'll motivate other people to do the same. I think that's important, especially in our like Portland community. I think what everyone should focus on is their rise.
Exactly.
Like their specific rise. Because it's different than everyone else. Some people they get mad because some people come up like differently, and it's like, no, dude, you have your path. You need to figure out what that is and take it.
Yeah, you're just seeing the end result.
Yeah,
you're seeing the end result of like, oh, I just got my record spun by OG1 at Portland Trail, but like like the amount of work, the amount of work it took like for OG1 and another artist to collab, to do this, to do that, get to know each other. The amount of work that gets put in is like, it goes unseen sometimes.
Yep. And
so like we can get envious for like if I'm going to be jealous, I'd rather be jealous of the work they put in than the result of that work.
That way too. Yeah. That's healthy. Yeah. Well, dope. So where can everybody find you on Instagram and all the things?
They can find me on Instagram. So all my handles are the same. It's just at Bremer Baden. BremerBaden. Instagram is the same. YouTube is the same. Facebook is the same. Twitter is the real _Bremer because the real Bremer is already taken, unfortunately. So
what?
Yeah, it's okay.
We're gonna get him canceled.
But yeah, you can find me there. You can also find me on YouTube. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Napster, Tidal, every single Twitch, every single streaming platform you can imagine. You can find me there at Bremer Baden. Rise is coming out New Year's Eve. We got the Green Hearts video that's out right now. And I have over 50 tracks out online right now, and I'm about to release more. I am going to release a single. I have a hidden feature, big hidden feature. And I'm going to release a single. It's called Even the Odds.
That's it.
And I'm going to, and that's going to be really cool. I got blessed with a really, really great opportunity. So shout out to Anno Dow and I on that, and yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, and I just want to thank you for coming through, and make sure everybody that you go and you follow him on Instagram, and if you go to link in his bio, it goes right to his clothing. And you got some dope shit. You got like backpacks and like all sorts of stuff on there.
I have a Bluetooth speaker I just put on there.
That's what's up.
I'm doing it. I just did my raffle for Visine. I'm going to be doing more raffles soon for different singles,
so
just to get my clothing is reasonably priced. If you live in Portland, you can either get it sent or I can hand deliver it to you. It's really no big deal. And so I just want everybody to have good drip at good prices. And
Yeah.
I'm working with Champion Brand and like Bluetooth. I'm like, I have dog beds and
You got
tapestries.
dog beds?
I have dog beds and dog bowls, dog dishes.
Dude,
yeah, I have
need
like
to sing
stuff
more
for
in
animals.
there and check it out.
Yeah, I got
Well,
over
it's way better to like promote like someone locally. Like if you're gonna go buy something, you might as well make sure your friend doesn't already make it.
Yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
that's how I've been lately, and I definitely am telling everybody out there, do the same, bro.
Yeah.
Like fuck these huge corporations. If you can
Dude.
support like someone locally, and your backpacks are dope looking. Like,
Thank you.
There's a bunch of kids in school right now.
That Bremer takeout, those are actual leather.
Give them some like real swag. They
Yeah.
show up to school, and I'd rock one too. It's sick.
Yeah, no, I got I got crops. I got crops too. So
Yeah,
I might have to slide you something.
Oh yeah, we'll check it out. Well, thanks for coming through.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for watching, and have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, Ocean World boy. Yeah. Deeper and deeper we go. I know that you feeling that. No wave on your skin, the toes on your tie, like. She look with her hunger and talk with her eyes. So when the body language come out, you know it go live. People tell you the truth and it's harder to lie. Bremer, stand up on straight and start walking your high. You right in the vice that seems to entice. Day is following the night is following the stars are following the trends. And now she crashing up a Benz like, pause for the cause, oh why because was a blast to the past, thought you knew what this was. I'm turning my back, I trip right over shouting. And as we get back up, I fall for you slowly like purple the Nasa, the purple the Phantom. She said I'm my dreams now, and that's why I can't stand up. Baby girl, stop, please. Why you always gotta try me? I spent the day with your mind now. I need a night with your body. Like, smoking that. We drinking that. We fucking that. I'm feeling so. I'm feeling so. I'm feeling so. She feeling so. We feeling so. We smoking that. We drinking that. We fucking that. I'm feeling so. I'm feeling so. I'm feeling so. She feeling so. We feeling so.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm ready for a shake-up. Caught in between staying young and growing up. What should I do? What should I say? Every day is a replay, feeling like a vacay to outer space. I've seen some things that I didn't want, but I'm dreaming big. Fuck being nonchalant. I've heard some things that damage me. Gotta take advantage, high above the noise, I'm flying free.
Purple the Nasa, the purple the Phantom. Alright. She said I'm my dreams now, and that's why I can't stand up. Baby girl, stop, please. Why you always gotta try me? I spent the